Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Divinely Transformed. My name is Lisa, and whether you're new or returning, I'm glad that you're here. Welcome to your Christmas message. This is going to be kind of different from an astrology perspective, but it is sort of Christmassy too. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I had some real significant and lasting insights about Lilith and Cancer. Black Moon Lilith and Cancer. And Black Moon Lilith is just basically it's the dark side of the moon. The moon is your thoughts and your feelings. It's the dark side of you. It is your shadow self, your ego. Everybody has one. And everyone's shadow side is different. And I want to talk about Lilith and Cancer. Even though I don't have Lilith and Cancer, I understand it. I just saw 111 on my counter, and I'll leave the link in the description box below for angel numbers, and you can go and check that out, and it might resonate with you. So, Lilith and Cancer. Let's talk about the good things, the high vibrational aspects of Cancer. Cancer is the unconditional love energy. It is the mother energy. Unconditional love, safety, security, dependability, stable home life, structure and foundations. This is what it's supposed to be. Well, someone with Lilith and Cancer makes decisions, 212, angel number. They make decisions actively, 222, that go against unconditional love, and they go for toxic love because it feels safe, because it's what they've always known. Let's talk about the history of that. When you're a small child and you're helpless and you're just trying to figure out how the world works, and you're a person who just needs to love and loves to be loved and wants to be loved, and you crave it, you think about it all the time, and yet you don't attain it ever. You try to please your mom, bend over backwards for your mom, 333. Doing things that go against what you believe is to be right. Doing things that are wrong to please your mom. Because you love your mom. You want your mom's approval. Now, this could be male or female. It doesn't matter. But when you're young, and especially if you're a child of God, you're a child of the light, right? And you just love so intensely, and you need that. You crave it. You have to have it. You'll do anything to get it. And it's always just out of your reach. Because your mom was hurt the same way that you were. And she doesn't know how to nurture you. This is a generational issue. Generational abuse, generational neglect and trauma. And, many people think that, whenever they experience this shit in their childhood and then they grow up to be adults, they're free from it. No, 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 no. Because that hurt and that pain is still inside of you. And it carries with you. And it builds over time. With all the broken and failed relationships you have with people along the way, it carries with you. Lilith in Cancer is about endless people pleasing, especially your mother. And then you grow up and you get married and you find yourself with a Cancer who is just as toxic as your mother was. It feels like home. You know it's not safe, but it's all you know. And what you don't know feels unsafe because you don't know. And that makes you afraid. Afraid of change. Afraid of, what if it doesn't work out the way that I thought it would? What if I invest my all somewhere and it doesn't work? Or somewhere else or whatever? Black Moon Lilith in Cancer, it really sucks you into loving and hating that Cancer energy. You have to have it because you've always had it and you're afraid to change it and you hate every minute of it. It makes you unhappy. It's unnurturing. It's unsatisfying. And it's downright evil. And you know in your heart it's true. When a mother or a wife doesn't love their children and their husbands the way that they're supposed to, they are truly wicked. If you can't even love your own child, you are a wicked, wicked, wicked individual. And people with Lilith and Cancer are either attracted to people like that or are like that themselves. Until they learn to heal that part of themselves. To say, I deserve better than this. I've always wanted to be loved. When do I get to have real love? I'm ready to make any changes necessary to get real love. When I know it's real. When I feel it's real. But people get scared of their emotions. And that's what Black Moon Lilith and Cancer wants you to do. Wants you to get scared of that love and how deep you feel it. Because it's there reminding you every day. It can go away. It can go away. So don't even try. It's just darkness keeping you away from your happiness. How long are you willing to let that happen? You have a choice. You have free will. And once you know all the facts about a situation, it is now your responsibility to exercise your free will and do something about it. Take a stand and say, I do not accept being treated like this anymore. I will not ever put myself in harm's way ever again because of love, or because that's the mother of my child, or because that's my mom. This shit doesn't fly anymore. Anyone can have that title, but not everyone deserves it because they're incapable of fulfilling that role, because they have hate and envy and malice and jealousy in their hearts. And you can't trust them. Ever. These are the people that are so manipulative. They play on every emotional heartstring. 1111, because they know that people are kind and caring, and they know that they can take advantage of anyone playing on heartstrings, tainting your foundation over time with their nastiness and their conditioning of you, keeping you trapped, keeping you stuck, sucking the very life out of you. Health, money, time, attention, happiness, sucking it all out of you. Little by little by little. The foundation, with all attachments associated with Black Moon, Lilith, and Cancer, they must be eliminated, or it'll kill you, period. Because people in the toxic energies of Cancer, who they just love other people and they don't have any regard for themselves. You know, there's two kinds of Cancers. There's the narcissistic Cancer who doesn't have any love in their hearts for anybody. There's that one kind of Cancer. And there's another kind of Cancer that is full of love in their hearts. And they've got toxic people and narcissistic people all around them, using them, abusing them, and hurting them, and taking advantage of them. And they just keep loving them. They put themselves in harm's way. They put themselves in domestic violence issues and situations because they feel that deeply to stay. Yeah, that might sound noble, but it's not. You want to know why? Because being around degrading energy like that every day, collaborating with that, degrading, nasty, negative energy every day, it changes you. It oppresses you. It's like you're under its thumb. So much spiritual attacks happening. Manipulation all around. And some of you, 14, and some of you know it. Even in the moment when it's happening. And you're just like, oh, but I love them so much. I love my child so much. I love my mom so much. I just can't do that. But you're hurting yourself. You're abusing yourself. Because when you are neglecting yourself and allowing someone else to rob you on multiple levels, it depletes you. Spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, legally. socially, all your aspects. It goes on and on. How far are you willing to let it take you? Because, potentially anyone with Lilith and Cancer, they could love someone to death. Or they could pretend to love someone to their death. Victim or perpetrator. There's capability for both with Lilith and Cancer. Because someone's shadow aspect is withholding love and unconditional love from people when they get angry. That's what that means as well. Cancers are reminded that they must nurture themselves and love themselves, especially whenever they weren't loved. Because when a Cancer goes toxic, no matter if they're evil or they're good, but their lives are a train wreck, no matter whichever the case is, they forgot themselves. They forgot to love themselves enough to say, no, I don't think I'm going to let you do that to me again. I'm done. Fuck off. They didn't love themselves enough to separate themselves from someone who's beating them and taking their money or controlling them, watching them like a hawk, monitoring your phone, monitoring your computer time, monitoring you while you sleep, monitoring you just to monitor you. What's the point? If you can't, 17, if you can't be in a relationship with someone that you can trust will always choose you, but you don't have to control them, then you don't need to be with that person. Relationships are not about having control over another person. It's about both people being free to be who they are, being responsible with themselves and their persons, to only share that energy with the two people, between the two people, and nowhere else, and trusting that though both are living, interdependent lives, their own independent lives together, trusting that they're both choosing out of their own free will to devote themselves without being controlled. It's too much effort, it's too much work, it's too much. This life is about freedom. Being free to be yourself, being free to love, being free to love without restrictions or consequences, being free to take risks, do things that you've always wanted to do, things that you're passionate about, things that light you up, things that make you happy, things that fill you with excitement and adventure. Things that fill you with happiness. And if someone wants to take that the fuck away from you, you have to question their fucking motives hard. And then you have to question your own motives. Why the fuck are you staying and letting them do that shit to you? Because you're abusing yourself. If you're staying stuck in situations with people who are cold and cruel for money or kids or whatever, the only reason to stay in a marriage is love. If there isn't mutual, unconditional love, full of healthy respect between two individuals, that marriage, and the two people, and if the two people aren't equally willing to work towards fixing that marriage ain't worth shit. That is not a marriage that God ordained, period. The marriage is not supposed to be a legal contract that is only just to be a legal contract. It's not just for paper. I just saw 2020. Someone is seeing things very clearly with 2020 vision. But when you have a marriage with a contract and no love, you always have a recipe for disaster. And that is not a marriage that God wants. And that is always a marriage that God erases. And God in the universe always gets their way. Because in the grand scheme of things, people are just peons in this game. We're here learning, nothing more. We're here evolving, nothing more. We're here growing, nothing more. And if you're not, you're just a waste of space. And if you don't want to be a waste of space, you can actively do something about it. Or you can just go on with your bad self and continue to be a waste of space. I never liked Christmas. I was always disappointed. I felt the magic of Christmas when I was young. It used to fill me with wonder and awe. But every Christmas was always a disappointment. I had to wait all year for Christmas to get new things. This is not a dig at my mom or anything like that. I forgive her. This is just my story. This makes me who I am. And Mom, I know you're going to be watching this. I love you. I hold no grudges. Please don't feel bad. You did the best with what you could do at the time. But my mom didn't ever buy me anything. And she never bought me anything at Christmas. But I would get presents from, like, the rest of the family. Like, my grandma, my aunts and uncles on my mom's side. And then when I was really young, I would go over to my grandma's on my dad's side. And, maybe a couple, like, one of my aunts over there on that side for a little bit when I was little, but I never had strong family bonds. I just never felt it. I didn't know them. My family felt like, except for my grandma. My grandma, my mom's mom, she was my favorite person. And her birthday was March 26th. And whenever that birthday rolls around, she's going to be 91 years old. I love my grandma so much. 24. I'm so grateful for my grandma. My grandma loved me. My grandma gave me the love my mom couldn't give me. But I couldn't see my grandma very often because I lived 2 hours away and our family was poor. We lived on welfare my whole life. And we could only go and see Grandma once or twice a year. Sometimes only once for Christmas. But usually we were able to go for Thanksgiving too. that was the only time I ever got new things. I didn't always get the things that I wanted. And even when I did get the things that I wanted for Christmas, and that Christmas was extra special, there was something missing. And it was missing because I wasn't being loved at home. My home life was unstable. I was abused my whole life by everyone except my grandma that I've ever loved on some level. And yes, I wasn't always the victim, and I reacted, responded, and I was sometimes the perpetrator too, and whenever I was unhealed. Like, I'm not innocent in any of this either. I made a lot of mistakes that I regret. Even against the people who treated me the worst. But I forgive myself. I learned from those mistakes, and I'll never repeat those mistakes. Always remember them and carry them with me. And learn from them and grow from them. I don't regret my life. But it was dark. I almost didn't make it out alive. But I did. And I'll never put up with anyone who was not in my vibration. I'll never put up with anyone who mistreats me. And I don't have to be mean about it. And I prefer not to be if I don't have to be. Because I'm not a mean person. But make no mistake, I can fucking get mean if I have to. My Black Moon Lilith is in Libra, and trust me, I've balanced my shadow side. I know how to make all situations balanced and fair now. The most diplomatic way possible. And if I have to show a little teeth in the meantime to do it, that's what I gotta do. If I can do it in a gentle way that is just like going my own way in peace and silence, I prefer to do that. But if it calls for more than that, I'll do whatever it takes. I will no longer, ever overgive to a situation. And I will never be exclusively taking ever again, because I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been a giver, I've been a taker. Neither was fulfilling. It's only the balance that is fulfilling. Equal give and take, exchange of love, time, money, attention, devotion, whatever. If you ain't got reciprocity, you ain't got shit. And because I balanced my whole life out, after 41 years of waiting, I finally have real friends. Finally. People who have my best interest, people who have my back, people who understand me, people who don't make fun of me. And if they have, they were corrected, and they were humble enough to apologize and they never did it again. That's never happened before. And I am grateful because I've had a lot of fake friends and they all stabbed me in the back while I gave them the world. Everything that I could possibly produce. And now, I have people who actually care about me, stick up for me. It's never happened before. And it's all because I dared to heal myself and stick up for myself and take care of myself. And not give my all to people who just as soon snuff my life out. Because when you're living with someone and they're doing spell work against you, and this, that, and the third, and doing everything that they can to keep you trapped, stuck, and blocked, and unhappy and miserable, then you know that they're truly despicable. And the only thing that proves that you love yourself and value yourself is to walk away from all of those motherfuckers. We're not here on this earth to suffer. We're here to be happy, to be loved. But we can't be dumb either. I was dumb my whole life. I suppressed my shadow side and then I embraced it. But then I suppressed it again. And then I'm just like turning my wheels and going from one extreme to the other. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I can't be an extremist anymore. I have to find the balance, the happy medium. I'm going to stay in the middle, and I won't give until someone gives. And I did that. I started from 0 point. And I found out who my friends were. Hallelujah. I give out of the kindness and love in my heart, but I don't overgive anymore. What I do now feels good because I'm taking care of myself on all facets of my life. And I balance things out. The only way I could have balanced things out was taking care of myself. Creating boundaries with people, changing my health, by exercising, changing my diet, my whole lifestyle. I changed my whole lifestyle. I went from someone who was disabled and lazy and gluttonous to restrictive with food, and then I got balanced. I got my shit together. Little by little, I got every aspect of my being together. It took years. It was long. It was hard. It was painful. And a couple times in that process, I wanted to die. But I always found strength to carry on. And now I'm so grateful, loving my life, and I'm happy. I'm excited. I've got things going for me. I've got dreams. I've got goals. I've got faith. I've got it all because I have those. I love myself and I love everyone too. But I will not allow people to fuck with me ever again. This Thanksgiving and Christmas is the first year that I've spent the holidays truly alone. And I love it. I love it. I was always afraid of it. I love it. There's so much freedom in not being around hateful motherfuckers in the holidays. I'm happy. And there's so many people whose families are together today. And they're hating life. They're not happy. They hate their lives. They wish they could escape the mediocrity of it. The coldness of it. What are you doing it for then? Every day is another opportunity to change your life around for the better. And every day that passes is there's another day wasted of doing that. And whenever those days are wasted, that's another day of freedom that you didn't have. That's another day that you were trapped. You might not be in actual jail, but you're in jail if you're trapped in a cold, unhappy, sinister marriage, home situation, whatever. What are you doing it for? How desperate are you for change? You have to be willing to make decisions and actions and sacrifices for your highest good and for the highest good of all. And if you're in that kind of a household with children, no child deserves to grow up in a war zone like that. That's abusive, that's toxic, and it's bullshit. And that child will be more fucked up than if the parents separated and each pursued their own happiness, health, and interests. Well, that would be a perfect world now, wouldn't it? But you can't control what the other person does, but you can control what you do. It all starts with you, making choices. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? Are you the emperor? Or are you a prisoner? Because the emperor is not a prisoner. The emperor in his integrity takes no prisoners and is no prisoner. The emperor is in his authenticity, in his truth, in his power and authority. And he doesn't abuse it. He sticks up for himself and for others. And champions causes that should be stood behind. Because the emperor has integrity. The emperor is bold. Not afraid to make hard choices for the highest good of all. Considering himself before anyone else. And when you're not in your authenticity, you're in a position of weakness, cowardice. And it's immature, and it's controlling a situation. No matter what angle you're coming from. And that's the Emperor in reverse I just described. Some of you, your North Node is in Aries. I know someone personally whose North Node is in Aries. The universe and the divine is calling hard for you to get into your North Node, the high vibrational aspect of Aries. Being a brave warrior, taking charge, being a leader, a stable father, loyal husband, dedicated lover. 4141. Full of love, compassion, empathy, in service of others. That is the Emperor. And if your North Node is in Aries, that is who you're called to be. Authentic, in your power and authority, doing what's good, just, and truly fair. Fighting for unconditional love, and fighting against tyranny and evil. That is what the Emperor does. Your North Node is in Aries. Your Black Moon Lilith is in Cancer. Your Sun is in Aries. Your Jupiter is in Aries. The Sun is who you are on a soul level. And Jupiter is the God planet, the spiritual planet. The planet of love, blessings, and expansion, but only if you're on the spiritual path. Your soul, your spiritual journey, your luck, your abundance, and your North Node is all tied to the energy of Aries, the Emperor. Triple fucking Aries. Stand in it. That is one powerful motherfucker. Do it. Your soul is calling you. When you betray yourself, when you go against your soul, your desires, your love, your destiny, your truth, your authenticity. When you go against all of those things, you betray yourself and you betray your own soul. You betray your spiritual path. And that pretty much makes your whole reason for being on this earth unsuccessful. If you die and don't do this, you have failed this lifetime. Do you want to do that? It's a heavy decision. Because these lives that we have is like a classroom. And each lifetime that we have is another person, another time, and another classroom. The same soul learning different lessons. And if you didn't learn lessons from other lifetimes, you're repeating them the next time until you overcome them. That's what these karmic Cancer feminines are in your life to show you. They're there to show you who you are, to transform you into who you're supposed to be. Like everything that happened to me. 4, 5, 5, 5. 4 is the number of stability. 5, 5, 5 is the number of change. Big changes are happening. Big changes are here. Go with the flow and you will have stability. Go to where you're guided. 6 of Swords. Come out of the chaos into calmer waters. You will find stability. You will find peace. You will find rest. And you will find unconditional love and healing. And you will find abundance. (46:46). And I know you have it within you because you're my twin flame, and I know that if I can do it, you can do it too. And I was terrified when I left my last karmic. And I couldn't wait to get out of there too. I was so itching and desperate to get out too. But I was scared too. I didn't know if my safety was in danger or not. I felt ominous. The house felt wicked and evil and dark, and I was just like, oh, I have to get out of here. And I did. I was scared. I left. I got real clear about all the things that I was not clear about before. And I set firm boundaries publicly because there is no personal private contact between me and this person, and there never will be. And if there is, it's getting shut the fuck down. But anyhow, let's get back to Christmas. So, this Christmas is perhaps the very first Christmas that I feel real happiness, real joy, and real peace. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. And I was always uncomfortable and nervous or unhappy or even angry or apathetic or whatever around Christmas time. Last couple Christmases, I was faking it till I made it. I found things to be grateful for. And I really made the best of it. But this year, having my energy to myself, not having anyone else around, I love it. 49:49. And I'd love to see my divine masculine today for Christmas. But if I don't, I'm going to be happy regardless. Merry Christmas from across the creek. But for you, you must feel like you're on the other side of the planet. Stuck in oblivion, stuck in the depths of the ocean and where it's dark and evil and hurtful. Find your way out of the dark. It's not that far. Merry Christmas to everyone, to all my subscribers, to my family, to my friends, anyone watching, strangers alike. Merry Christmas. Cherish your families, and if you can't, cherish yourself. By separating yourself from wicked people. Have a magical day. 5151. I'm going to get into the daily short now. Love y'all.